Just imagine. After more than 15 years of running on lithium-ion batteries, Tesla decides to turn the tables and announce that the long-awaited 2026 Model 2 will arrive equipped with a technology many had already given up on. Yes, aluminum-ion batteries, the ones the industry said had no chance of scaling, are now the new heart of the car that promises to change everything. And that's no exaggeration. Elon Musk took a big risk with this move, and it's precisely this risk that makes everything even more intriguing. After all, not just any company would bet its most affordable car on a chemistry that until yesterday was considered impossible. The curious thing is that this change didn't come out of nowhere. Musk has always talked about paradigm-breaking solutions, but the idea of using aluminum, a material found in soda cans, seemed like a distant provocation. Now, with the Model 2 knocking on the door, that provocation has become reality. It's almost as if he's saying, "You doubted it? Now watch." And let's face it, there's a certain boldness in abandoning a well-established technology to embrace something that still carries doubts. But it's precisely this boldness that usually puts Tesla miles ahead. For the public, the impact is immediate. Those who follow closely already realize that this isn't just another technical specifications announcement, but a historic shift. If before the debate was about how long lithium would continue to dominate, now the question has become, are we witnessing the end of the lithium era? The weight of such a decision cannot be ignored, especially since it affects not only Tesla fans, but the entire automotive industry, from suppliers to competitors. Suddenly, a path that seemed consolidated opens up in several directions. Of course, there's a degree of distrust. Many engineers still insist that aluminum's energy density can't compete with lithium. Others question whether Tesla might be putting the cart before the horse. But the truth is, Elon Musk has never been afraid to buck the trend. And let's be honest, we've seen this before. When people said electric cars would never be viable on a large scale, he went and proved them wrong. Perhaps now he's trying to repeat the trick, only on an even deeper level. What's striking is how this change carries powerful symbolism. The Model 2 has always been heralded as the car of democratization, one that would make Tesla accessible to millions of people worldwide. Putting the new aluminum battery in it is not only a technical choice, but also a strategic one. It's like staking a claim to the market that the revolution will only be complete if the foundation is solid, affordable, and durable. In other words, the Model 2 wouldn't just be a cheap car, but the first in a new energy lineage. Some bolder analysts are already risking saying that the Model 2's 2026 launch could be remembered in the future as a game-changer, much like the first iPhone was for cell phones. It's that bet that seems crazy now, but could be seen as genius 10 years from now. And if Musk gets it right again, it won't just be Tesla that wins. It will be the entire electric vehicle market, which may be forced to chase a previously ignored technology. When talking about batteries, the first question that comes to mind for any engineer or driver is always the same. What's the real range? And this is where the most controversial point about aluminum arises. While lithium cells can deliver around $250 to $270 aluminum cells are between $160 and $200. In practical terms, this means that with a 50 kWh pack, the driver loses 30 to 40 miles of range. For many, this number may seem like a thorn in the side. After all, who wouldn't want to drive longer without worrying about the next stop? But the great thing is that the cost doesn't end there. What Elon Musk seems to be showing the world is that the equation has changed. The obsession with miles of range begins to lose steam when recharging comes into play. It's almost like swapping the logic of drive more for weight less. Say, while a lithium-ion Model 3 takes a good 30 minutes to reach 80% charge at a supercharger, the aluminum Model 2 promises something impressive, 0 to 100% in 10 minutes. That's enough time for a coffee, a few texts, and voila, the car is full of energy again. This difference affects consumer perception. Imagine the scene. You park, order a cappuccino, check your notifications, and before you even finish the last sip, you already have 250 miles available. It's an experience similar to traditional refueling, but with the futuristic charm of electric vehicles. And between us, this feeling of freedom of time can be much more valuable than a few extra miles of range. After all, no one likes to wait, but everyone appreciates it when something happens quickly. A comparison with current cars makes this even clearer. The Chevy Bolt, for example, takes almost an hour to recharge on a fast charger. Even lithium-ion Teslas, connected to the most powerful grid, still require a good 25 to 30 minutes to reach 80%. Aluminum, on the other hand, emerges as an almost provocative alternative. Why wait so long when you can get it done in a third of the time? It's the kind of argument that can win over not only technology enthusiasts, but also more practical drivers who simply want convenience in their daily lives. This trade-off, less range, but much faster charging speed, creates a new dilemma in the industry. And perhaps this is precisely what Elon Musk wants to impose on the market. It's as if to say, you're looking at range, but you should be looking at time. And when you put the scales on time, aluminum really begins to shine. This strategy could not only attract new buyers, but also force competitors to rethink what really matters in electric vehicles. Another interesting detail is how this could change people's routines. Instead of planning long recharges during trips, drivers are now thinking about short, frequent stops, almost as if the car were always ready. This mindset is reminiscent of someone who charges their cell phone several times throughout the day in short bursts, instead of waiting for it to be completely discharged before plugging it in. It's a new way of managing energy, and it could be more intuitive for a generation already glued to mobile devices. It's curious to think that for years, the biggest argument against electric cars was range anxiety. People feared being left on the road without a battery, as if it were an inevitable nightmare. But with the arrival of aluminum, that conversation changes completely. If recharging takes just 10 minutes, the question stops being, how many kilometers can I drive? And becomes, how long do I need to stop to continue my journey? And this shift in perspective is powerful, because no one likes to wait, but everyone is happy to take short, quick breaks. Lab tests show something even more impressive. Aluminum cells can charge up to 60 times faster than lithium-ion cells. This isn't a small improvement. It's almost like comparing traditional mail with instant messaging. For drivers, this difference means freedom. Instead of scheduling long waiting periods, simply fit short recharges into your routine. A coffee stop, a quick visit to a friend, and voila, the battery is fully charged again. It's as if the car adapts to the pace of life, not the other way around. This change elevates the Model 2 to a new level. Imagine having a guaranteed 250 miles of range in 10 minutes, compared to 30 or even 60 minutes for other models. What once seemed like a limitation, a slightly shorter range, now becomes an asset. It's almost a provocation. Why rack up more miles if you can recharge whenever you want, in fractions of the time? This logic could be a game changer, because it shifts the battle from hard numbers to practical experience. And let's face it, real life rarely requires driving 300 or 400 miles in one go. The average driver commutes around town, commuting to work, picking up their kids from school, and stopping at the grocery store. In these situations, recharging speed matters much more than a full tank that takes half an hour to fill. It's like having a nearly infinite source of energy, accessible at any time of the day. For many, this convenience is worth more than any catalog number. Of course, there will be those who still prefer maximum range, but most people don't want to plan long waits. They just want the assurance that they'll never be left stranded. And that's exactly what ultra-fast charging promises to deliver. If the car can recover all its energy in the time it takes to make a coffee, range anxiety practically disappears. This sense of psychological security is one of the most underrated aspects of electric vehicle adoption, and Tesla may have found the most elegant solution yet. Another curious effect of this change is how it could bring electric vehicles even closer to the experience of refueling a combustion-powered car. Refueling with gasoline has always been synonymous with speed, and electric vehicles lagged behind in this regard. Now, with aluminum, that difference is reduced to almost nothing. 10 minutes is already competitive enough to make drivers feel like they're not wasting time. And when technology can match or even surpass the old habit, the transition becomes much more natural. If there's one thing that's always raised concerns about electric cars, it's battery life. After all, no one wants to invest in a vehicle only to discover a few years later that the most expensive part needs replacing. With lithium-ion batteries, Tesla already delivered a standard considered cutting edge: 2,000 to 3,000 complete cycles, roughly 500,000 miles, before showing significant degradation. For most drivers, this was already enough for a respectable lifespan. But now, with aluminum, that limit seems small compared to what's to come. The most optimistic projections indicate that aluminum batteries could reach up to 10,000 complete cycles. Translating this into real life, a Model 2 with 250 miles per charge could travel more than 2.5 million miles before its chemistry began to truly lose efficiency. It's almost as if the battery had a longer lifespan than the car itself. This figure is impressive not only for its size, but also for the impact it can have on consumer perception. Imagine driving the same vehicle for decades without worrying about replacing the pack. This resistance opens the way for a new concept in the automotive market. Until now, replacing a car was linked not only to the desire to upgrade the model, but also to the expectation of inevitable battery wear. With technology that promises to last so long, this logic could change radically. Drivers may no longer need to abandon their car for fear of a dying battery, but rather for the desire to upgrade its design or technological features. This could redefine the consumption cycle of electric vehicles. For those who like numbers, the comparison is almost surreal. If today's Tesla Model 3 can be seen as a machine capable of 500,000 miles, the aluminum Model 2 falls into the category of immortal car. This idea of extreme longevity could win over not only ordinary drivers, but also fleet owners, transportation companies, and even governments, who seek more durable vehicles to reduce long-term maintenance costs. It's as if Tesla is offering not just a car, but a decades-long investment. And it's not just the financial aspect that draws attention, there's also an emotional aspect here. Many drivers develop attachments to their vehicles, but end up trading them in out of necessity. Imagine being able to keep the same car for an entire generation, passing it on to children or even grandchildren, with the battery still in top condition. This almost sentimental perspective of durability can be a powerful marketing differentiator, capable of creating a much deeper relationship between consumer and brand. When it comes to the production cost of an electric car, the battery has always been the most expensive component. In many models, it represents up to a third of the vehicle's final price. And this is where aluminum plays its strongest card. Unlike lithium, which relies on an expensive, complex, and often politically unstable mining chain, aluminum is one of the most abundant metals on the planet. It can be 15 to 20 times cheaper per ton, which completely changes the starting point of the calculation. In short, while a 50 kWh lithium-ion cell pack costs an average of $6,500, the same aluminum pack can cost between $3,200 and $3,500. That's a difference of over $3,000 for just one component. Doesn't seem like much? Imagine this reduction multiplied by hundreds of thousands of cars produced. We're talking about billions of dollars saved, and, more importantly, a huge amount of room to lower final prices without sacrificing profit margins. This leeway allows Elon Musk to keep the promise he's been making for years, to launch a truly affordable Tesla in the $25,000 range. What's more, in some markets, this price may even be lower, depending on tax incentives and local production costs. For many who have always dreamed of owning a Tesla but could never afford the high prices, this could be the turning point. It's the moment when the brand ceases to be a symbol of luxury and becomes part of everyday life. This strategy also deals a direct blow to competitors. Companies like BYD, which currently offer cars in the $25,000 range using lithium-ion batteries, could see their advantage evaporate in the face of a Tesla that can match or even surpass that price with more durable and faster charging technology. Volkswagen, also trying to establish itself in the compact electric segment, would feel the same impact. The difference is that, while they struggle with tight margins, Tesla could keep its profits intact. And it's not just the purchase price that the consumer benefits from. With a cheaper, more durable pack, long-term maintenance costs plummet, fewer replacements, fewer worries, and fewer unexpected expenses. A Model 2 owner wouldn't need to calculate when the battery would show signs of wear, as the projected lifespan is much longer. This peace of mind can also directly influence insurance premiums, as the risk of failure or premature replacement would be much lower. The Model 2 arrives with a projected range of 250 miles per charge, roughly 400 kilometers. At first glance, this may seem short compared to the 272 miles of the standard Model 3, or the bolder figures of competitors like the Hyundai Ioniq 6, which exceeds 360 miles, and the Lucid Air, which approaches 410. But this is precisely where the core of Tesla's strategy comes in. Rather than competing to go the furthest, the idea is to offer just enough range for everyday use, with the advantage of recharging in record time. It's a positioning calculated to appeal to a mass audience without making unrealistic promises. In practice, this range is more than adequate for most people's daily lives. The average driver in the United States, for example, only travels 37 miles per day. This means that with a Model 2, you could drive for almost a full week without needing to recharge. And even when charging is necessary, the 10-minute time frame makes the experience as natural as filling up at a gas station. It's a clever way to shift the narrative. It's not about having more range than everyone else, but about never missing it. This move also places Tesla at the heart of an extremely competitive market. The Model 2 isn't targeting luxury sedans or high-performance SUVs. It's right in the same league as the Chevrolet Bolt and BYD Dolphin, which also offer around 250 miles of range. The difference is that, while its rivals still rely on long recharge times, Tesla promises to deliver the same range with the added bonus of ultra-fast charging. And this completely changes the perception of value. Furthermore, there's the psychological factor. For the average consumer, very high range figures may be impressive, but they end up being far from practical reality. Few people need 400 miles in a single trip. What really matters is convenience, the confidence that the car will always be ready. In this regard, the Model 2 presents itself as the rational choice, eliminating unnecessary anxiety and providing the feeling that the driver has absolute control over their energy routine. Another important detail is the cost-benefit ratio. By offering 250 miles, Tesla manages to balance price and performance in a way that rivals will struggle to replicate. Consumers don't need to spend more for range they may never use. They pay for what they really need, without sacrificing the security of knowing they can recharge their car in just a few minutes. This pragmatism could win over precisely those who were still resistant to the idea of owning an electric car. What's most striking about the Model 2 is how it could redefine the entire future of electric mobility. It's not just a new car on the market, but a package of innovations that, together, create a domino effect across the industry. A battery that charges in 10 minutes, lasts millions of miles, and costs much less to produce isn't just an incremental improvement. It's a breakthrough